Hi guys, we're back in the studio again. My name is Tom. For those of you who are new viewers. New viewers also, I had Drawing Basics 1, 2, and 3. So it's a good idea if you watch those videos before you watch the creating of the tree video in this one. It'll help you. So today we're going to draw a tree and we're going to use the techniques we learned from our previous videos when we were shading the cylinder. From the cylinder, we can draw the tree. All right, let's get into the video. In Drawing Basics 1, let's just real quick review, but specifically on this area here, guys. I showed you how to go from dark to light with the shading technique. New viewers, if you don't know how to do this, you can go look at Drawing Basics number 1, and it's called shading. As we were drawing, I showed you how to draw from a dark section to a light section to a dark. And what I had said is in nature, this form of shading can form basic trees, the tree trunk mainly and the branches, but at different sizes. So I added this little section in here. Any line drawing, any beginning of the drawings that we draw, we want to draw light. So let's just draw from the cylinder shape in mind. Let's draw a really light line here. You may not even be able to see it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to curve the bottom out as if it's a root going into the ground. And then we're going to draw the other side. We'll draw a narrow tree so we're not taking to this one. Maybe it was on a hill and it'll go that way. All right. So what we're going to do is start on the side of the tree. And we're going to start our elliptical shading again. You'll see that in my other drawings, and this is how it's done. All right, we'll try to cover the whole area of the tree trunk. I'm going to refer to this as the tree trunk now. So what I'm doing is I'm applying pressure like always, and now as I get to the center, I begin to lighten the pressure. And then when I pass the center, I start to get dark again. I prefer to get dark from the edge and then lighten it as I go to the center. So I'll skip out to the edge here, and now pressure. I'll say that's where the tree ends there, and the tree might end there. So what would happen is this area here would be the ground, and this would be the ground. So I've already kind of changed my mind about where this will be. So we'll take that out. This is a better eraser here. The eraser I use, guys, is this one here, Staedtler Mars. Staedtler Mars. And it's a really great plastic eraser. Okay, so what we're going to do is that's the ground. This is going to come maybe down here. And this is going to come in here. Now, let me just say this before we go any further. If you guys could see underground, you would realize that the way a tree grows upward and branches out, it does the same thing under the ground in the root structure. So what I'm going to do is I'll start the tree trunk with some thicker root structures that will go into the ground, and it'll get narrower as the tree trunk roots go into the ground. They get more narrow, and then maybe here we'll just show a small one that's kind of going in there. This is the tree trunk. What I'll do is I'll go darker here on the edge. So I don't kind of goof this one up. Let me take a section over here and I'll show you up close. A tree branches from the trunk, guys. Here's your trunk, and then the tree goes off, the branch goes from the trunk, it's going to go off like that. What do you notice happened to from the trunk to the first branch? it gets smaller. I'm going to put this over my tree so I don't smudge it. Just for now, I'm going to show you the quick structure of the branch system here. So that's what the tree would start doing. Then, depending on what you want to do, the next branch would get thinner and it would continue on. What it doesn't do is get thicker as it goes on. So say I go out here, this is almost the same size as this. So in order to take away that, we'll split this branch and we'll make it go smaller. So the branch does this all the way out to the end, basically. It'll keep splitting until it goes to a twig form. You want to avoid doing this exact, like you wouldn't do this and then do another one and then do this and then do another one and do this, right? That begins to look fake. What you want to do is you always want to vary things. That's what's kind of cool about nature. So say I do one here, maybe the next branch would come up over here, you know, and then this would keep going. That's what you want to do. All right, that's one branch with small branches off, and then obviously when we get into leaves, the leaves only grow way out on the edge. You know, they grow out on the edge of the tree. They look like they grow in close because the branches come out from every side. So let's take this up and we'll start to branch it off. And let's say this first branch is about there. Remember, we don't want to get too technical. And then I'll come over here while I'm going a little dark here, guys, because I kind of know where I'm headed. But go light, so if you have to erase, you can do that. So I'm going to go here, I'll go light so you can see. And then this part might go out there. Then this section could come in here. And then that'll start to go up. So I'm not going to go and draw the whole tree here because it'll be long. I want you to experiment with that. So what you would do at this point is you would start to shade your outer branch, and now you have to just be a little bit cautious about where your shading ends. So for example, in these sections here, you don't want to do it too dark, too far down. You kind of end it. When in doubt, do everything light. Then you can kind of look at it and go, okay, maybe this is more like that. And when you get to the smaller sections of the branches, guys, it's a little harder to completely do your shading technique where you're leaving, you know, the pressure and all. So basically what you're doing is you're not doing a line and a line, but you're filling in the center as best you can very lightly, so you still maintain some form of dimension to it. If I fill it solid, it's going to look flat, but if I leave a little bit of the center open,
Alright, what I'm doing here real quick, guys, before we go any further, is I'm just continuing. As I looked at the tree, I kind of forced everything inside the edge of the paper because I was trying to show you, and I realized proportionately to a degree, obviously the tree wouldn't come to an end that quick. The tree would probably come up in this range with branches. So what I'm doing is, and it's showing you how you can add even when you've done things that you might not want to do. I'm just thickening them a little bit and adding them so they can kind of continue off the paper. This one not so much because it's out on the edge. You know, that won't have to go too much further. This one could go a little bit more. Okay.
Alright, that does it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had fun doing it. And I also hope you learned something. So until next time, have a great day, and I'll see you in the studio. Take care now.